What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the live stream. So, I just want to start off and be very clear. This is not a clickbait title. There is a major issue at hand that I need to make you aware of. It's not something I could wait to make a video about. And I originally had this live stream plan on a completely different topic, which I'm still going to try to cover in this live stream. But then I found out about this breaking news that is affecting the entire crypto industry. So, we're going to get right into it. Um, and this is also an ongoing issue, maybe unrelated, but there are basically a lot of hacks going on in the crypto sphere right now um, that we all need to be aware of. And as crypto starts to take off, whether October really comes and things get really intense, that's always when we see the most hackers and scammers come out of the woodworks. Um, because if crypto is doing well, then so are scammers. So let's get right into this because this is something that, again, we all need to be aware of. So this is Ledger's CTO, Chief Technology Officer, and this is a tweet that he posted a couple hours ago saying that there is a large supply chain attack in progress. And don't worry, I'll get into what all this kind of means here in the next couple of slides. He said an NPM account of reputable developer has been compromised. The affected packages have already been downloaded over 1 billion times, meaning the entire JavaScript ecosystem may be at risk. And how this works is it works by silently swapping crypto addresses on the fly to steal your funds. If you use a hardware wallet, you need to pay attention to every transaction before you signing. And if you don't use a hardware wallet, then you should immediately stop making transactions right now. So if you're using something like MetaMask or Phantom or Trust Wallet, whatever it may be, the best thing you can do right now is to stop transacting completely. And it's still unclear whether the attacker is also stealing seed phrases from software wallets directly at this stage. So yeah, this is and again, I'm going to go over this in the next couple of slides. Of course, if you have questions, make sure you're dropping them in the chat. But this is an ongoing issue. It was recently discovered. There have been some updates to come out. But yeah, right now there's still a lot that's unknown. So the best thing to do is approach everything with caution. And later in the end of these slides, I'll tell you exactly what I'm doing. So then he went on, Charles, again, the CTO of Ledger, he went on to say, if you use a Ledger or hardware wallet with clear signing, you are not at risk. My tweet above is warning people who do not use a hardware wallet with clear signing, or if they use a hot wallet, and always review every transaction before you sign. So basically, you shouldn't be blind signing anything right now. If there's anything requesting an approval and you don't know the details of the transaction, you should stop. And again, if you're using a hot wallet, even if you can see the transaction details, you should not be transacting at all at this point. So I did try to break this down as quickly as possible into like super layman's terms so that I could best understand it. This is a very non-technical explanation of what's going on. If you want to read the full article that kind of exposed what happened and how it happened, I did leave that in the description of this live stream, so you can open that up and go read it later. But this is just like my overview of kind of what's happening and what led up to this. So right now, hackers broke into a trusted developer's account, and they hid malware inside of super popular software applications that developers use in their own apps and web extensions. And again, the software is used by millions of websites and apps and has already been downloaded over 1 billion times. So you know that for sure, some people have already been affected by this malware. Why this matters is because it spreads extremely fast. It's already hit 1 billion downloads. It can change your wallet address when you're sending crypto, and your money will go straight to the hacker. And this is one of the biggest risks of using a hot wallet or a software wallet. So yeah, that's why I say if you're using any kind of hot wallet right now, you should completely just stop until more information is released. I spelled that wrong, but how the malware works, it scans for crypto addresses on your website and apps. So let's say you open up your MetaMask browser extension. If this malware is present in the software, like the latest version of the extension that you're running, it's going to scan for crypto wallet addresses, and it will secretly swap the address that you're sending crypto to before you confirm the transaction. And this address could look very similar, like the first few letters and numbers, as well as the last letters and numbers of the actual address that you're sending crypto to. Um, so if you do, for some reason, have to send transactions, you should really be checking every single piece of the address that you're sending to. And again, if a wallet like MetaMask is detected, it can change the transaction before you sign. Now, I'm not saying for sure that this has affected MetaMask or Phantom or Trust Wallet or Exodus or any of these popular wallets. Again, it's still an ongoing issue. So the best action you can take right now is to just not transact at all, if you're using a hot wallet, especially. So who's at risk? Anyone using browser wallets or software-based wallets. Again, MetaMask, Phantom, Trust Wallet, Exodus, Coinbase Wallet, not to be confused with Coinbase, the crypto exchange, but Coinbase, their self-custodial wallet. People sending crypto from infected apps or websites. Again, we don't have a list or anything of which apps or websites are infected. And then also developers who are unknowingly installing this malicious code into their applications and their browser extensions. So the latest update on that article that I left in the description of this video, it says that a lot of developers have already removed this malicious code from their apps and their software, which is a good sign. But we don't have any like hard data. What's a lot of developers, right? We don't know. We don't have an exact number. You could be that one person who is still using a malicious version. So that's why I say just stop sending crypto altogether. So if you're using a cold wallet, just double check every transaction. This doesn't affect you as much. However, even wallets that offer some kind of clear signing solution like Ledger, where it tells you the transaction details, there are still certain websites that you might interact with that require blind signing, even if the wallet offers some kind of clear signing solution. If a website does request blind signing, which means you sign a transaction without knowing the full details, do not sign that transaction. That's not something you want to do right now. And then, of course, always verify transaction details before sending. So make sure on your hardware wallet that the address you're sending to is the actual address. So double check every single number and letter in that address, and make sure the amount that you're sending is the correct amount and everything like that. Now, if you use a hot wallet, you need to stop sending crypto right now. Don't trust any browser or app wallets that you're currently using, and wait until more information is released on this topic. Obviously, I can't do this live stream all day. However, I can post updates on the YouTube community tab once I found out more information and as this situation kind of develops. But yeah, if you're using a hot wallet, just stop transacting. And if you're using a cold wallet, you're probably fine, but double check every transaction just to be safe. That said, what I'm doing is I've stopped all my crypto transactions for the day. I'm not sending crypto to exchanges to cash out. I'm not swapping any crypto or doing anything like that. I'm also not interacting with any of my hot wallets on my computer or my phone. I'm not even opening the apps. Again, this is just what I'm doing, extra precautions. I don't want to open up any potential vulnerabilities or backdoors, so I'm just choosing to not touch any of my wallets at all. And of course, I'm keeping my cold wallets locked away and secured, and I'm not even accessing any of those. As far as transacting, of course, you'll be fine to open up, your crypto wallet app like Tangem or Ledger Live, and if you want to, take a look at your portfolio and check things, then you're okay to do that. But as far as transacting, that's just something that I'm staying away from until more information on this is released. That said, if there is some kind of transaction you need to do, again, if you're doing it from a cold wallet, you're going to be okay as long as you're not blind signing and you're double checking your transactions. If you're using a hot wallet, extremely risky right now. Now, I know I went through that super quick. Again, this is a developing story, but at this point, no, I haven't seen any crypto wallets like hot wallets, software wallets like MetaMask or Phantom, release anything on Twitter saying that that they were affected by this. So again, it is unknown who is affected by this, what developers implemented this code and may have switched back now. So that's why you should just approach this situation with caution. And as far as cold wallets, this shouldn't really affect any cold wallets. A lot of you are probably wondering about Tangem, since Tangem doesn't have its own screen. There is currently no malware that can affect the Tangem app. And also, Tangem did release their own version of clear signing that actually, so make sure your Tangem app is up to date. It should be 5.27. But they did release this new version of clear signing that basically generates the transaction offline first to show you what you're signing before you sign the actual on-chain transaction. And this is to help prevent blind signing, basically. So yeah, this is really for people who are utilizing hot wallets. This attack targets hot wallets. That said, there is another unrelated attack that I do want to bring up here, because again, this is going to get worse and worse as the year goes on. The scam industry is a $1 trillion industry, not crypto specifically, but hackers and scammers, it is a $1 trillion industry. And as we get closer to the holidays, especially around when there's a lot of money, transacting, and October is maybe crypto will begin to go up. We're going to see a lot more scams and hacks, and this is probably they're going to target the easier targets first, which is going to be hot wallets and crypto exchanges. And the reason those are the easy targets is because the keys are stored in the software on your internet connected device. Whereas with any cold wallet you use, no one can get to those keys unless you're giving them the keys. And that's why we use cold wallets. So if you don't have a cold wallet yet, or you have your crypto stored on an exchange, I would say today is a day that you need to start really considering getting a cold wallet and learning how to use it. If you have any questions, I'm happy to help. But yeah, I mean, you got to stop waiting, because this is getting insane. Now, this next one that I want to bring up, again, it's unrelated to, as far as I know, to the current attack that I just explained. But this is Alex Choi Crypto. This is another crypto YouTuber. I don't really know too much about him, except that he basically has this trading channel. I believe this was yesterday he posted that he just got drained for $996,000. And I can read this real quick. He says, honestly, I'm still processing that this happened, and even writing it out feels completely unreal. I just spent the last 24 hours looking into it, wiping out all my devices and moving my files. Part of me was considering whether I should even reveal this or not. But let this be a good wake-up call for everyone in the space regarding security, because if it can happen to me, with all my experience in this space, it can happen to anyone. And that is so true. I mean, we've even seen people like Mark Cuban, who's a multi-billionaire. He's been hacked in the past as well. More on that in a second. But with all his experience, it can happen to anyone. If my loss prevents this from happening to even one person, then it wasn't all for nothing. Not asking for pity money or anything. I know I made a mistake. Just want to help others. And I think I included kind of how this happened. Alex said, the lesson learned is that you can never skim the surface in crypto, regardless of whatever mutuals you have. Do your own research first. I will also advise you guys to do the same. Never join any sort of third-party call like Microsoft Teams, Zoom, Google Meets. You should be the host of whatever meeting you join. And this is really pertaining to, I would say, more creators, because a lot of us are invited to different meetings and things for partnerships. But this also applies to consumers who are using hardware wallets, because a lot of people who might pretend to be crypto customer service, like they might pretend to be Tangem support or Ledger or Trezor or OneKey, whatever it is, they will get you on a call sometimes, and they can do the exact same thing that happened to Alex here. So this does apply to everyone, not just content creators. But basically what happened and what has happened to other YouTubers that I've seen is they get invited to these group chats, or to like not Telegram, but to any of these video chatting platforms. And it's some kind of social engineering. They might set up one meeting with you, or maybe multiple meetings. And in one of those meetings, they somehow install some kind of malicious code on your computer. And again, what happens is that code, it compromises any of your hot wallets or software wallets that you have on that device. Again, this is why I teach what I teach, and this is why I tell everyone to get a cold wallet. Because time and time again, I mean, sure, cold wallets have had their issues in the past, but time and time again, all these hacks, scams, all the social engineering is mainly targeting crypto exchanges and hot wallets because those are the easiest targets. And likely the people who are using, in my opinion, who are keeping that amount of crypto on a hot wallet, uh, I don't want to say they're not knowledgeable. It's just if you know what happens or what can happen by keeping your crypto in a less secure wallet like that, um, then I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing. And a lot of people think that I push fear or whatever, which I really don't. Like a lot of my YouTube videos aren't like super fear based. I don't try to do like the super clickbaity stuff. This is one of the most fear based titles that I've done for this live stream, but that's because it's real. It's not clickbait. Um, but the reason I talk about this and the reason I push cold wallets and really have built um, a channel around this is because this happens time and time again, and it's been happening since 2011, which is almost when Bitcoin came out, or shortly after, a couple years after, and it's going to continue to happen, and it's only going to get worse. Um, so yeah, really need to get a cold wallet, and then I'll come back to that later. And I'll jump on the chat here in a bit. But yeah, so again, this could still affect cold wallets. This original. So for those of you who are saying, why is there a Ledger hardware wallet in the thumbnail? One reason is because Ledger's CTO is the one who really made this public and known. So I appreciate the CTO for making this issue so known. Second, again, this can affect any crypto wallet. This is an attack on all crypto wallets. It mainly targets hot wallets, but if you blind sign a transaction with your hardware wallet, you could still your crypto could still be compromised. So it's not clickbait to have any wallet. That Ledger is just one of the most recognized wallets. That's why I use it in my thumbnails. And again, if you are blind signing crypto transactions right now, you are at risk, whether you're using a hot wallet or a cold wallet. I want to make that very clear. That said, wallets like Ledger do have clear signing, which again, it prevents you from blind signing transactions. So if you are currently using a Ledger wallet right now, you're secure as long as you're taking advantage of that clear signing. And again, not signing blind transactions. And you would know if you're blind signing because the transaction you're signing is just going to look like a bunch of code basically, and you'll have no idea what the heck you're signing. It's a bunch of cryptographic code versus like what Ledger offers is clear signing. It breaks down the entire transaction. It says you're sending this amount of crypto to this wallet address, and that's about it, right? That's really what you need to be checking for, and of course, double check the address. But again, there are certain websites that even if the wallet has clear signing like Ledger, the website still has you blind sign. This is the user's choice. I'm telling you not to blind sign right now. And again, I'm going to get to all the chats, but ultimately, if you're using a cold wallet, you're likely safe as long as you're not blind signing. I want to make that clear. That said, I think it's only right to kind of talk about, for those of you who maybe don't have a cold wallet right now and are looking to get one. I do have a link in the description of this video to Ledger wallets. Their sale actually ends tomorrow. You get up to $80 worth of free Bitcoin when you buy a Ledger wallet. And I'm going to go through all the Ledger wallets here in a second. Basically, as a thank you to Ledger CTO for pointing out this issue and really making it viral so that the entire crypto space is aware of what's going on right now. And that said, Ledger is one of the best wallets you can be using right now. If to prevent for falling for hacks like this one and future hacks that are going to target hot wallets, as well as people who are blind signing. So yeah, again, Ledger, $80 in free Bitcoin is good for beginners, desktop and mobile compatible. There's 4 wallets to choose from, and they've been in business since 2014. You can do everything from your Ledger wallet. You can buy, sell, swap, and stake crypto. It has a secure screen, which basically just means there's no way for hackers to inject malware between the square or between the screen and the chip inside the device, which Ledger is one of the only wallets that offers this. And then it has a clear signing, which is exactly what I'm talking about, and is what the CTO referred to. If you're using a wallet like Ledger right now, you're not going to be affected because it does have that clear signing. So you know exactly what you're signing before you sign it. Whereas with hot wallets, that information can be changed. And then, of course, it has the industry standard EAL6 plus secure element chip, which is the same kind of chip used in the banking industry and electronic passports. And it's really the most secure chip you'll find in a hardware wallet. And Ledger is 95% open source. A lot of people think Ledger is closed source. It's not. And this is the deal. Again, I'm going through this very quickly. If you want more information or if you want to take advantage of this deal, link is in the description. And this sale ends tomorrow night. You get $10 worth of free Bitcoin if you buy a Ledger Nano S Plus. You get $50 if you buy a Ledger Nano X, $70 if you buy a Flex, and $80 if you buy a Stacks. My personal favorite is a Ledger Flex because of the screen and because of how beginner friendly it is. It walks you through every single all the steps when you set up your wallet. It tells you what you're doing, why you're doing it, why it's important. And then the differences between the models. One thing I want to be clear about is all Ledger wallets are equally secure. So whether you get the entry level Nano S Plus for $59 or you get the most premium version, the Ledger Stacks, they're all equally secure. They're all going to safeguard your crypto just as securely. The main difference is the Nano S Plus doesn't have a battery, but it still has a secure screen and clear signing. The Nano X is the next step above the S Plus. It comes with a rechargeable battery and Bluetooth so that you can use it with your mobile device. And then we move on to the Flex, which is the first touchscreen model, has a 2.4-inch e-ink touchscreen. It also has NFC and the recovery key. And then we have the Stacks, which is like a bigger version of the Flex that comes with wireless charging as well. So again, any of these wallets are going to secure your crypto way better than significantly better than any hot wallet on the market. So yeah. And the recovery key that I'm talking about, this now comes with all Ledger Flex and Stacks wallets. This is it's an offline key recovery with a self-destruct mechanism. And basically what it does is you hold up your Ledger Flex to this key and it will store your seed phrase securely on this card. It's not a replacement for your seed phrase. It is an additional offline backup. That way you don't have to whip out your seed phrase every time you want to recover your Ledger wallet. You can just pull this recovery key out, enter the PIN that you set up, and you can recover your wallet that way. As far as the self-destruct mechanism, you get 3 PIN attempts. After 3 failed attempts, the recovery card completely erases itself, which prevents anyone from brute forcing the card and getting your seed phrase. And again, this is not a replacement for your seed phrase. It's just an additional offline backup that is now offered to make things more convenient and more secure, again, so you don't have to pull out your seed phrase. And again, that's a $40 product on its own. It comes with the Flex and the Stacks. It'll come in the box. You don't have to add it to your cart. So right now, considering, you can get free Bitcoin with any Ledger wallet you purchase, plus the free recovery card if you get the Flex or the Stacks, it's the best deal that Ledger offers pretty much all year. And the link to that deal is in the description, along with the article that I was talking about earlier. So let me go back here. Let me just have this up on stage while I go to the chat now. Now, I'm super behind on chats, obviously. We're about... No, I don't know. We're probably like an hour behind. Dragos from X says, thanks for the update. You're welcome. Tangem has pre-signed simulation, can be checked as per last update. That I think is an advantage. Exactly. This is what I was talking about regarding Tangem, is that you can basically verify the transaction details offline before signing it on the chain. Xenia said, I would like to know after Tangent, which is a better option, One Key Pro or Keystone Pro, or maybe another one. Uh, After Tangent, like if you're going from Tangent to another wallet, I wouldn't choose the One Key Pro or the Keystone Pro. Those are both air gapped wallets. They're not very user friendly in my experience, and there are far better wallets in my opinion. If you want to go One Key, I would go with the One Key Classic 1S. That's a good beginner entry level wallet. That said, I would lean more towards the Ledger Flex. Like if you're already willing to shill out the money for like a One Key Pro, I would just go with the Ledger Flex, which again, you can get $70 worth of free Bitcoin with this wallet. And this works with both your mobile and desktop devices. And the funny thing about Ledger is a lot of other wallet manufacturers like Cold Card, Trezor, Tangem have relied on Ledger's security team, the Donjon, to find vulnerabilities in their wallets and help them make their wallets more secure. So Ledger's security team is one of the best in the industry and are often the first to release urgent information like this, like the one that I shared in this live stream. So someone said Ledger is not good at all, always hacked or something wrong. Not true. Ledger again is top of the line. My top three wallets if I had to choose. So Ledger is one of the best wallets you can be using right now. Cause said it has to do with JavaScript and the app code. Exactly. Austin says, what are your thoughts on Arculus with the seed phrase to diversify? Basically to diversify from different brands. You already have a Tangent wallet that's set up as seedless. I'm not a huge fan of the Arculus wallet. If I were going to get another card wallet, it would just be another Tangent wallet. Maybe you could have one set up as a seedless wallet and one with the seed phrase. That's the direction I would go. I'm not a fan of Arculus's closed source software or really the user interface. I think Tangem's app is a lot better and they support a lot more networks. John says things will be fine. No, things are definitely not fine. Yeah, I'd say this is definitely red alert as it gets. That said, if you're using a cold wallet, things are going to be fine. If you're using a hot wallet or if you're using your cold wallet the wrong way, then you are at risk. And that's not just when an attack like this happens. If you're using a hot wallet like MetaMask, Phantom, Trust Wallet, Exodus, or an exchange to secure your crypto, then your crypto is never actually fine. You're always at risk. A2Easy said, ordered wallet from Ledger when I seen the deal you shared and they've lost it in transit. To be clear, Ledger didn't lose it in transit. The shipper lost it in transit. That said, reach out to Ledger. And if it was truly lost in transit, then they'll send you a new one. Talking to Can, just heard about this. What's going on? If you're just joining the live stream, I covered everything that's going on in the beginning, probably the first 10 minutes. But a quick recap. There is a large scale attack currently in progress. The affected packages, which is basically there has been malicious code injected in certain JavaScript that a lot of developers use in their apps, in their web browsers. And this code has been downloaded more than 1 billion times. We don't have exact data on what apps or browser extensions were affected. However, what this malicious code does is it silently swaps crypto addresses in the background to, so basically if you're sending crypto to a different wallet or something or to an exchange, this malware has the ability to swap the address without you knowing, and then you send it to the hacker's address. But if you are using a cold wallet like Ledger, Tangem, OneKey, Trezor, whatever it is, then you're safe as long as you're not blind signing the transactions, meaning you're not signing transactions that you don't know the full details to. These transactions will look like basically large pages of code. It'll be cryptographic code that you can't even read or understand unless you're a cryptographic developer. And even then, it's just not realistic to read. If you see that, you don't want to sign that transaction right now. It's always a risk to blind sign, but you want to double check your transaction. And if you're using a hot wallet right now, stop using it. Don't do any transactions with hot wallets right now. Again, hot wallets are things like MetaMask, Trust Wallet, Exodus, Coinbase Wallet, not to be confused with the Coinbase crypto exchange, Phantom. Don't know if I already said that. But seize all transactions with your hot wallets. Double check your transactions if you're using a cold wallet. BSR says I only use Tangem. Marty's World said thanks for all you do. Happy to help. Buzz says I only use Ledger, or I only use Tangem. Ledger is shit. Um, I mean, yeah, if you could say that, but just know that Ledger has provided a security. I'm not going to say an audit, but they did find a vulnerability in Tangem in the past, and they privately communicated this with Tangem so that they could fix it and make Tangem a more secure wallet. That doesn't really sound like what a bad company does to me. So that's just my opinion. I'm going to try to go through these comments as fast as possible just because there might be some pressing questions that I want to answer. So if I skip your comment, I'm sorry, but I'm going to try to answer as many as I can as quickly as I can. Divine says, "Are trading Telegram bots a risk or at risk?" I think using bots in general are risky, but I don't have a clear answer for you. Should I not use my crypto for a while? I would not use any hot wallet right now. What I'm doing is I am not interacting with any of my hot wallets. I'm not even signing into them. If you have a hardware wallet, you're okay to transact. Just don't blind sign anything. So yeah. Bruman says Cold Card is one of the only hardware wallets not affected. That's completely false. No hardware wallets are directly affected by this. So yeah, I'm not sure where you got that information, but that is completely false. Miss J says, "I'm using Kraken. Will I be affected?" So this isn't. I guess this technically could affect crypto exchanges, but this is really an attack on software, hot wallets, and other apps and browser extensions. I would not be sending crypto right now from a crypto exchange or from your hot wallet. I would really only feel comfortable sending crypto from a cold wallet right now and transacting using a cold wallet that allows me to see the transaction details. Arun Telugu Explorer says, "Hi Skrilla, how do we keep Ledger wallet safe? Please explain in detail." The same way you keep any hardware wallet safe, you want to keep your main cold storage wallet cold. The way you do that is you don't connect it to any websites to sign transactions. And what that looks like is, you connect to an NFT marketplace, you buy an NFT, you have to sign a transaction. Doing that can put your hardware wallet at risk. You should have one dedicated hardware wallet that you treat as a savings account that you basically only send crypto to and send crypto out of, and then you can safely use the buy, sell, and swap features in the wallet's app, but avoid connecting it to external websites where you have to sign transactions and sign spend approvals. That's really how you keep any hardware wallet safe. Digital Revolution says Black Swan event, perfect storm incoming. Like I said, things are going to get crazy. It happens every year around the holidays. It's probably, I don't have any data to back this, but I would argue it is the most profitable season for scammers and hackers. There's just so much money flowing around on the internet. People are, they're stressed out from the holidays and from work. They're not thinking straight. But in crypto, it's 10 times worse because it's already confusing. It's already extremely complicated. And as crypto goes up, as the market goes up, there's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of FOMO, or fear of missing out. And that is the perfect storm to make mistakes. And that's exactly what scammers and hackers rely on, is basically people lacking knowledge and making mistakes. So always, but especially now, we need to be extra cautious. And the best way to secure your crypto starting today and moving forward is to just use a freaking hardware wallet. I mean, I don't know how many times I've said this. I've only been saying it for 2.5 years. So, well, I've been saying it for longer, but on this channel, I've been saying it for like 2.5 years. If you need a hardware wallet, Ledger having a huge sale right now. You get free Bitcoin when you purchase any wallet. That link is in the description of this live stream. Figure out how to use it later. Just double check that it supports the crypto you want to hold. Stop waiting to get your crypto on a cold wallet. I'm telling you, a lot of people they wait until it's too late. So Scott says Coinbase has all my crypto. Scott, if you have the ability to get your crypto off of Coinbase and onto a cold wallet, I would do that as soon as possible. Crypto Chino says, what is clear signing? So clear signing is it's a term that's really coined by Ledger, but basically what it does is it turns an unreadable transaction or unreadable transaction details into human readable form. So instead of seeing a bunch of cryptographic code, when you sign a transaction, it breaks it down into human readable code, basically saying you're interacting with this contract. You are, whatever it is you're doing, you're sending $100 worth of Solana to this address. So it turns it into a human readable format. That way, you know exactly what you're signing before you sign it, which is super important. Digital Revolution says, do you think this could affect overall confidence in crypto altogether? Absolutely. Anytime something like this happens, and especially when it goes viral, like Charles did, the CTO of Ledger, he made the story basically go viral to warn everyone. It always affects crypto. It always does. I mean, a lot of people who aren't into crypto or who are just like barely getting into crypto, and even us who are like super deep into crypto, we all understand it's really a cesspool. It's really a dangerous place to navigate. It's very confusing and complicated. So anything like this will always affect the outlook on crypto, in my opinion. The Talking Toucan says, will this affect mobile only users? This affects both desktop and mobile users. Again, anyone who's using a hot wallet is who it mainly affects. But ultimately, anyone can be affected if you're blind signing. Just to be clear, what I'm doing right now is I'm not accessing any of my hot wallets today until we have more information about this. That includes MetaMask, Trust Wallet, Phantom, Exodus, whatever it is, whatever hot wallet you have, I would not interact with it at all. And then be on the lookout for any updates for any crypto apps or browser extensions that you use. If some updates come out over the next few days, I would definitely make sure you get those updates, get them done, because they could include the new code that doesn't have the malicious code. And again, we don't have a set list of apps or browser extensions that are affected by this. And like I said, the most recent update that I heard from this attack is that a lot of the developers have already got the malware out of their code. But that really just prevents people from downloading it more. The people who have already downloaded whatever app or browser extension that was infected by this malicious code, they could still have that code on their computer. And that's why I'm telling you, be aware and be proactive about updating your browser extensions and all of your applications, because anytime updates come out, it's not just for usability, but oftentimes, especially dealing with crypto, there can be security updates in there. So you want to stay on top of all your updates. Miss J says, I don't have a hot or cold wallet yet. I'm using Kraken. Again, this specific attack isn't targeting crypto exchanges necessarily, although it potentially could. So I would, again, probably not make any transactions from crypto exchanges or hot wallets right now. That said, once this is cleared up, I would get you a hardware wallet immediately. Obviously, take an hour to make sure that the hardware wallet you get supports the cryptocurrencies that you want to secure. All crypto websites or crypto wallet websites will have the supported coins listed on their website somewhere. If you need help finding a wallet that supports the crypto that you hold, preferably leave a comment on this video, not in the live chat, but a comment so I can go back and review it and answer it after I end the live stream. And I can point you in the right direction for a wallet that will work with what you need. But again, one of the best wallets that you can get, who just happens to be having a sale right now, is Ledger. All their wallets will come with free Bitcoin. And it is the wallet that of the CTO of Ledger right now is the one that kind of made this this attack viral and to warn everyone. So I'm highly appreciative of Charles for doing that because it's super important to amplify this message. So yeah, again, Ledger wallet link is in the description if you need a hardware wallet. And I'm happy to answer any questions. I also have an entire Ledger wallet playlist on my channel if you have questions about Ledger. But and it doesn't have to be Ledger. Just get a cold wallet and make sure that it works for you. Barbara says, what about sending from Kraken to Tangem? Should we not send right now? I would personally, like if that was me, I would hold off. I would hold off sending crypto from exchanges to any wallets. Now, if you're sending crypto from your cold wallet to an exchange, okay, I would say you're going to be okay as long as you're verifying your transaction. But since you're sending from Kraken, I would definitely hold off right now. Sean says, I'm about over all this crypto stuff. And that's exactly what Digital Revolution was talking about or asking about earlier. If something like this would affect people's outlook on crypto, of course it does. I will say that it is kind of discouraging anytime something like this happens, but it's just part of the game. And this is how more secure solutions are developed. There has to be vulnerabilities. Things get exposed all the time. That's how cybersecurity works. That's the only way to make more secure products. And that can look a lot of different ways. But yeah, I mean, yeah, crypto is not for the weak-hearted or people who just want everything handed to them. If you're in crypto right now, especially in 2025, you really need to learn the fundamentals. That's the most important thing you can do right now. And part of the fundamentals includes how to secure your crypto using a self-custodial cold wallet. Kathy says, to your knowledge, has this happened before? When you say developers, are you saying exchanges that are using the software? I don't know. I don't know what developers have used this code, the JavaScript that was infected. I would like to believe that these big multi-million or billion-dollar institutions would have a security team that would not be using like these, I guess, methods or JavaScript code that would contain this. But nobody knows for sure. So far, there hasn't been any official announcements from any crypto exchange or crypto wallet that I know of that has been affected by this. So it could be lesser known wallets that maybe don't have the best security team or something like that. I do have a super chat here from Alex Herrera that I'm going to answer. I appreciate your donation. Skrilla says, is my crypto safe with Ledger? How do I know if a flex is compromised or in danger? Alex, if you're specifically talking about this attack, yes, your crypto is safe with Ledger. You want to be using a hardware wallet like Ledger. That's if you're using a hardware wallet like Ledger, especially, your crypto is secure and you really don't have anything to worry about as long as you're not blind signing transactions. So yeah, if you've been using your Ledger wallet, your Ledger Flex without any issues, I would assume it's still secure. This attack specifically targets hot wallet users as well as people who are blind signing transactions. But if you're using a hardware wallet, Ledger, Trezor, OneKey, Tangem, Cold Card, whatever it may be, your crypto is unaffected by this specific attack, as far as we know, as long as you aren't blind signing. Arun says, thanks for the update. And based on what you said, Ledger isn't directly impacted, but the supporting apps that one transacts with is malicious. We don't have any data on what apps or web browsers are affected by this code. No hardware wallets are directly affected by this attack. In fact, you want to be using a hardware wallet. Got another live chat here. Thank you for your donation, redmac01. Could you explain the best way to stay secure with a cold wallet? One cold wallet as a safe and one connected to an exchange. Okay, a couple things here. You don't connect cold wallets to exchanges. That's unless you're using like a decentralized exchange. You don't connect your cold wallet to like Coinbase or Kraken. That's unnecessary. You don't need to do that. Um, so the best way to keep your crypto safe with a cold wallet is to keep your cold wallet cold. How do you do that? You treat it like a savings account. You send crypto to it. You can send crypto from it to exchanges or to other wallets, but you do not connect it to any websites. That could be decentralized exchanges like Uniswap. It could be NFT marketplaces like OpenSea. Even though these are generally considered safe websites, if they're ever compromised in the future and you've already signed a transaction approval, and a lot of these transaction approvals are require that you sign a spend approval. And a lot of these spend approvals are unlimited spend approvals. And what a spend approval does is it allows that platform or that contract to take crypto out of your wallet. In most cases, this isn't malicious. You're just saying, hey, you could take this $100 and in return, you're giving me, $96 worth of this crypto. However, maybe if the platform was compromised in the future, that spend approval is still already approved by you, and they could then take crypto from your wallet if you've already approved it, even if it was a year ago. So the best way to secure crypto with a cold wallet, again, is to keep your cold wallet cold. Don't connect it to websites. If you want to interact with decentralized exchanges, which aren't really decentralized, but if you want to interact with things like Uniswap, or you're claiming an airdrop and it requires you to sign a transaction, or you're buying NFTs on a marketplace, then you either just need to, you should just use a separate hardware wallet and keep the least amount of crypto in that wallet as possible, and then have the majority of your portfolio stored in like your savings account wallet. Um, Hopefully I explained that well enough. If I didn't, just drop another comment. You don't have to pay me anything. Just drop another comment and I'll try to get to it. Okay, let me catch back up. Divine says, can hot wallets get drained without sending crypto? Absolutely. And the reason why you don't want to keep your crypto on a hot wallet is because the keys, all wallets do, wallets don't hold any crypto. Uh, there's only one place that crypto exists, and that's on their native blockchain networks. All hot wallets do, and exchanges and cold wallets, they hold the keys that are used to access and manage your crypto. So in the case of a hot wallet, the key is stored in the software on your internet connected device, like your phone or your computer. So if your device, if you were to accidentally download some malware or some kind of spyware, then yes, your wallet could be drained from that malware. That's exactly why you want to use a cold wallet, because the keys to your crypto are stored offline on the physical wallet device, away from malware and spyware. And they also have a ton of security features that prevent remote and physical attacks. Stacks Bitcoin said, my Star Key wallet for Supra initiated a mandatory update. Not sure if it's malicious or not. Not opening for now. So I don't know anything specifically about that wallet. I would say probably a good thing to not open it for now, and just definitely don't transact from it, and kind of keep an eye out for updates. I would um, I would definitely consider updating it maybe in a day or two after we have more information about this. And then maybe keep an eye on any official Star Key wallet accounts, like if you follow their Twitter account, to see what they're recommending as well. Bruman says best thing to do is nothing. That's actually the worst advice you could give. Best thing to do is, unless you're talking about do nothing as in don't transact, then I would say, yeah, Bruman, you're absolutely right. So my apologies on that. But yeah, like if you're super hesitant or weary about this, the best thing you could do is, like Bruman said, nothing. Just don't interact with your wallet until we have more information. Uh, I'm waiting for on my Tangent wallet to show up. Should I just wait a minute once I get it to set it up? No, you don't need to wait to set up your Tangent wallet. Um, you're all good on Tangent. So yeah, if you get that wallet, you're fine to set it up. Lemon Lucas says, "How long was this happening?" Um, I mean, the initial post from Charles, who is the CTO of Ledger, who made this kind of go viral, currently has been seen by 3.4 million people. It was posted 4 hours ago. Um, as far as the article, if you want to read the official article of what's going on, it is a higher kind of level. If you want like a higher level, let's see. It was posted today. I'm trying to see what time the original article came out. There should be a time. Unfortunately, I don't see a time. So today, I mean, who knows how long it's been happening? Probably at least a day. IPEC said NPM is huge. It's not just crypto. Yeah, exactly. This doesn't just affect crypto apps. This is the JavaScript code that was affected by this is used in a lot of different apps and web browsers or web browser extensions. Um, so yeah, it is huge to IPEC's point. That's exactly why it's been downloaded more than 1 billion times. And again, if the best way that the best way in now I'm speaking specifically crypto because that's obviously what we care about. That's why we're here on this live stream. This affects a lot more than just crypto, but especially your crypto. If you have it in a hot wallet, moving forward, you really need to get it into a cold wallet. Um, Again, if you need a cold wallet, link is in the description of this live stream to Ledger, which is arguably one of the best cold wallets on the market. That's unaffected by this attack. Um, and they have a sale right now that ends tomorrow night. You get free Bitcoin up to $80 worth. So definitely check that out. Let's see. Mr. Dinkle says lots of cold wallets use NPM. Even if the cold wallet does use NPM, it doesn't mean that they use this specific code in their code. If it was just released and they haven't implemented it, then yeah. So far, no cold wallets, no cold wallet apps have been affected. And even if they were, you can still verify the transaction yourself. Stacks Bitcoin said Phantom posted on X that they are not affected. That's good news. I would still be very hesitant and cautious transacting from any hot wallet right now. So all cold wallets should be good. We don't. Again, we don't have any specific. We don't have any specific data on what apps or web browsers this attack has targeted or affected. We know that it's there have been over 1 billion downloads of um, the code that developers use for their apps and for their web extensions. Last update I heard is that a lot of the developers have already removed this code. Excuse me. So again, the best thing you can do right now is not interact with your hot wallet. Don't sign any transactions with your hot wallet until this issue is cleared up. And I'm sure a lot more hot wallet brands will come out with official statements regarding, if they were affected or not. But in general, you should be okay if you just don't use your hot wallet, don't even open it, don't transact with it. And then be on the lookout for any official updates from official accounts like on Twitter. And also make sure you're updating your app if there is an app update that comes out within the next few days. Kaz says, what about checking balances on Coinbase wallet? If you're talking about Coinbase, the hot wallet, the self-custodial wallet. Now, I don't know enough to say that, opening your wallet is a risk. I'm choosing not to open any of my hot wallets today or until we get more information. Definitely don't transact from your hot wallet. But this attack is specifically targeted at swapping crypto wallet addresses when you're sending crypto or when you're transacting. doing that in the background. So, in theory, you should be okay as long as you're not transacting using that wallet. However, because it still seems like there's a lot of unknowns with this attack, and regarding hot wallets, I'm just choosing to not open my hot wallet at all. Mr. Dinkle says this does affect cold wallets. This attack could affect a cold wallet transaction potentially, but really only if you're blind signing a transaction, which means you're signing a transaction that you don't know the full details to. Um, but if you're using a cold wallet and as long as you double check your transaction details, you're going to be okay. Birdie Smith says I sent some all-time high from Tangem to Coinbase like 5 hours ago. Think I should be worried about it? Um, That I don't know. I mean, if the crypto showed up in your Coinbase account, then I would assume the transaction was successful and you weren't affected. That said, I would not keep any crypto on Coinbase, just in general, not because of this attack, but I don't recommend keeping crypto on any crypto exchange for any um, set amount of time. Let's see. Jeff says at least there are people that put out these types of notices. Just be vigilant. And just as I know it can be stressful, but I think this situation, just hold on and try to wait for updates. Um, yeah, it's a good point. Let's see. Let's see. Steve says, "Why is your thumbnail a photo of a cold hardware wallet? Is that clickbait? Not necessarily. One of the main reasons is because a person who made this, who announced this attack and who made it viral so that we could all be aware of it, is Charles, who is the chief technology officer of Ledger. So shout out to Charles for making everyone aware of this. And also, Ledger wallets are some of the most secure wallets you could use right now because of this attack. Um, so I don't think it's clickbait. Also, it got you here, and you're still watching. So um, now, if the title of this video was a complete lie and that this wasn't urgent and that there wasn't an attack, then that would be clickbait. But everything that I've talked about has applied to my title and thumbnail, in my opinion. Bruman says that they've been hacked twice. I'm sorry to hear that. Lemon Lucas says, "What's the best cold wallet?" Best is subjective. There's a lot of thing that goes into choosing a cold wallet. What's best for you might not be best for me. That said, when you choose a cold wallet, the first thing you want to check is coin support. Does it secure the crypto that you plan to hold with it? If it doesn't, then you wouldn't even buy it. The second thing you want to check is compatibility. Does it work with the devices that you have at home? So, do you want to use it with your phone or with your computer? Once you knock those two questions out, then you can really start to look at like the user interface, look at YouTube videos and things like that. But if I had to tell you my top, like, I don't know, top 3 or 4 brands of hardware wallets that I personally use in no specific order, it'd be Trezor, Tangem, Ledger, and OneKey are probably my favorite brands. Um, And I will say, like Ledger, they have their own security team, the Ledger Donjon, and they have helped other wallet brands with vulnerabilities. They have found vulnerabilities in other wallets in the past, like Trezor, Cold Card, Tangem, and they have privately communicated those vulnerabilities so that those companies could address them, which is like kind of what you're supposed to do in the security space. So they have a really good security team that's really proactive, and they're always on top of things like this. So yeah, and if you want a Ledger wallet, oh, excuse me, again, they are having their biggest sale of the year. Let me go through it. If you need a hardware wallet because you don't want to be affected by attacks like this one or ones that will definitely be present in the future, Ledger is having one of the best sales right now. You get $10 in free Bitcoin if you buy a Ledger Nano S Plus, $50 if you buy a Nano X, 70 if you buy a Flex, or 80 if you buy a Stacks. And the link to this deal is in the description of this live stream. it takes you to their official website, and yeah. So any of these wallets, they're all equally secure, even though one is $59 and their premium one is 400. They're all equally secure. They'll do just as well of a job securing your crypto as any of them will. My personal favorite is the Ledger Flex because of its touchscreen. It also has some other cool features like Ledger's recovery key. But yeah, if you're looking for a beginner friendly cold wallet, I would say the Ledger Flex would be my choice, mainly because it explains everything that you're doing on the actual screen when you're setting up the wallet and things like that. Plus, you get $70 in free Bitcoin. Again, that deal runs until tomorrow night. And then you probably won't see a sale like this again until Black Friday, would be my guess, which they usually do similar sales. Like I've never seen them offer more than $80 in free Bitcoin when you buy a wallet. So as far as like the free Bitcoin that you get, it always looks like this: 10, 50, 70, and 80. Um, and then now you get the free Ledger recovery key with any Ledger Flex or Stacks wallet that you order, which is this right here. This is a secure offline key backup. It stores a seed phrase from your Ledger Flex or Stacks wallet. And that way, all you have to do is, like if you ever need to recover your Flex wallet, you would just hold it up to the back and scan it, and it'll recover your wallet for you after you enter the PIN code from this. And it's not a complete replacement for you writing down your seed phrase, obviously, but it is an additional secure backup with a self-destruct mechanism that will erase the key from this little card after 3 failed PIN attempts, which prevents any like brute force attacks. And again, all Ledger Flex and Stacks wallets come with this for free, and it only works with the Stacks and Flex wallet. This is $40 on its own, or if you buy one of the wallets, you get it for free. So yeah. Anyways, let's go back here. Okay, I'm still trying to get through all of your comments. We have a lot though, so yeah, I'm about an hour behind on the live chat, so I am going to skip some if I've already answered them. If I've already answered the questions and I skip your question, then you'll just have to go back and watch the live stream. But I will bring up questions I haven't answered or good information like this one from the Talking Toucan. MetaMask has released an official statement on X saying they're all good. So we've heard from Phantom. We've also heard from MetaMask that they are unaffected by this attack. The Talking Toucan or anyone who's on X right now, if you could go look at the other official accounts from like Trust Wallet, Coinbase Wallet, Exodus, whatever popular wallets that we all use are, if you want to go look at those accounts and report back here with if they released an official announcement, that would be super helpful. And I would be grateful if you did that. Let's see. Let's see. Mia Dolph says, was there a hit on Tangem also? No, there wasn't. Let's see. Zero says, how I know if I haven't blind signed. Um, I mean, you would know when you sign. Were you able to understand what you were signing or not? If you were able to read it and you comprehend what exactly you were signing, then that wasn't a blind sign. If it was a bunch of code that you didn't understand what you were signing and you signed it, then you blind signed a transaction. That said, blind signing, it's not always a bad thing. Like you really should avoid blind signing. But my point is, like, every time or anytime you blind sign a transaction, it isn't guaranteed that you're going to get hacked. It's not always a malicious transaction. Just specifically with this current attack that was revealed by Ledger CTO 4 hours ago now, it does specifically affect people who are blind signing. That's not to say that if you blind sign today, that your crypto is at risk or that you signed a malicious transaction. It's just to say that it is risky to blind sign at this point, and I wouldn't be doing it. Looks like Looks like we have another super chat from Suzuki that I'll bring up. Thank you for your donation, Suzuki. Skrilla says that his buddy received, or Skrilla, my buddy received his Tangent cards. I was thinking about transferring his crypto from his Coinbase account to the 2.0 card. Should I wait? Um, I would probably wait at least like a day or two just until this clears up. There hasn't been anything said about this affecting centralized exchanges, but just to be safe, I would probably wait. But that's my personal opinion. You would probably send it and it would probably show up just fine. Personally, if it were me, I would wait. Um, and let me check. Um, let me check Coinbase's account to see if they've addressed this at all. I doubt they have. Nope. Yeah, Coinbase hasn't said anything about this. So I doubt that it has affected Coinbase. That said, you're probably fine, especially if you log in. If you log in on like Coinbase.com, like through the website versus using the app, you'd probably be okay. But if you want to wait a day or two, I don't think that would hurt either. Let's see. Elizabeth said, my son was just gifted XRP last night and he didn't have time to switch it over. How does he secure it? Elizabeth, I'm not sure what you mean by switch it over. If you're talking about to a cold wallet, he would just send the XRP to his cold wallet and that'll be secure. M. Ali says, is Ledger better than Tangem? I just bought, but haven't used the Tangem wallets based on your referral. Both are good wallets in my opinion and in my experience. Better is subjective. Again, it really depends on what cryptocurrencies you need supported, what user interface you like better. If you're asking me, do I trust one more than the other to secure my crypto? I'd say they're both good solutions to securing your crypto. That's what I would say. Usif says ledger screen, what happens when it breaks? Then you just have to buy another wallet. It doesn't even have to be a ledger wallet. And you would import your seed phrase into your new wallet and you would have access to all your crypto again. Remember, guys, crypto is not stored on wallets. Cold wallets like Ledger, hot wallets like MetaMask, they don't hold crypto. Your crypto only exists in one place, and that's on the blockchain. All wallets do are hold the keys that allow you to manage your crypto on the blockchain. So if your wallet breaks, you don't lose your crypto as long as you have the key that you use inside that wallet, which is your seed phrase. You would simply just take your seed phrase and import it into a new wallet. Bruno says, so hardware wallets, are we safe? You are safe. If you're using a hardware wallet, you're safe. Just don't blind sign any transactions. A blind signing transaction looks like a bunch of code that you don't understand what you're signing. Only sign transactions that you can read yourself. One that would say, you're sending this amount of crypto to this address, and double check the address character for character that it is the correct address that you're sending crypto to. Usif says multi-sig is best. I actually disagree with this take. I don't think for 99% of crypto users, I don't think multi-sig is a good solution. It's also proven to not be like the end all the crypto security. It's not the safest option. Just look at Bybit's CEO, who was using a third-party multi-sig vault with his hardware wallet. The multi-sig ended up getting compromised, and he ended up kind of like this attack. He sent crypto to scammers' address. Not just a little bit of crypto. He sent $1.5 billion worth of crypto to North Korean hackers. And guess what? He did that again using a multi-sig setup. It's also multi-sig just overcomplicates things. So again, I don't think for 99% of crypto users, I don't think multi-sig is the best option. I think using a hardware wallet that you treat as a savings account, that you don't connect to various websites, I think that is just about as secure as it gets. You could take it a step further by using a passphrase or the hidden wallet feature. Yeah. Let's see. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Paradigm Miner says, bro, these wallets use Java. Why recommend Ledger? Just because a wallet uses Java doesn't mean anything. I don't know what your point is. Um, this attack was on Java code. It doesn't mean that these wallet companies have implemented that code. Most of them don't. They're smarter and safer than that. So what you said is pretty irrelevant. And Ledger is one of the most secure wallets on the market. That's why wallet manufacturers like Cold Card, like Trezor, like Tangent have relied on Ledger's security team, the Donjon, to help them with vulnerabilities. Ledger has exposed vulnerabilities in all those wallet brands and has privately communicated those vulnerabilities so those companies could fix them before they were made public, before the vulnerability was made public. Um, so that's why I recommend Ledger, because I think it's a top of the line wallet, and I think it's a secure option. Crypto Chino says Jupiter and Jupiter Mobile just put out a statement on X. They're unaffected. Okay, good to know. Thank you. Lemon Lucas says, is the Flex Bluetooth? Yes, all the Ledger wallets, with the exception of the Nano S Plus, have Bluetooth so that you can use it with your iOS or Android mobile device securely. That also includes doing secure firmware updates over Bluetooth, which is super cool. That means you don't have to connect your Ledger wallet to a desktop device just to do a firmware update. Kay says, I have the Nano S Plus from the internet, and it only turns on when I connect it. That makes sense because the Ledger Nano S Plus needs to be connected to power it on. The Ledger Nano S Plus doesn't have a battery. So if you want to use a Ledger Nano S Plus, you have to plug it in. So that's exactly right. Dun, 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 dun. All right. So if any of you are just joining, I will do a quick recap for those of you who have been here. I appreciate you. I'm going to keep answering questions, but just a quick recap of kind of what is happening. And before I do the recap, let me check if there are any updates here. Let's see what's going on. And shout out to Ledger's CEO Charles, who really amplified this attack, this message, so that we were all aware of it. This is how I originally found out, was from Charles' X account. Again, Charles is the chief technology officer of Ledger hardware wallets. So huge shout out for Charles for this one. So I'm going to quickly recap what's going on. If you missed anything from earlier, just rewatch the stream. I covered everything in depth as I could in the first like 10 minutes of this live stream. So definitely rewatch it if you need to, but I will quickly go over. So basically there's a large scale supply chain attack in progress on the NPM account, which is basically an account that developers use with certain JavaScript code, and this code is used in a lot of different apps and browser extensions. And basically, it has been infected with malicious code. And specifically, this code is designed to swap out crypto addresses on the fly, meaning during a transaction, and replace it with the hacker's address. Charles said, if you use a hardware wallet, pay attention to every transaction before signing, and you'll be safe. If you don't use a hardware wallet, refrain from making any on-chain transactions for now. It's still unclear whether the attacker is also stealing seed phrases from software wallets directly at this stage. So again, there's a lot still unknown, so it's best to approach this situation with caution. If you're using a hardware wallet, you're safe, but just double check your transaction before signing. If you don't have a hardware wallet and you're using a hot wallet like MetaMask, Trust Wallet, Exodus, Phantom, Coinbase wallet, you should not be doing any transactions right now. As far as crypto exchange transactions, like sending from an exchange, I don't know. He didn't specify crypto exchanges. Just to be safe, I probably wouldn't be making any transactions from there as well. And Charles went on to say under this post, if you use Ledger or hardware wallet with clear signing, you are not at risk. My tweet above is warning people who do not use a hardware wallet with clear signing of the risk. Always review every transaction before you sign. So what Charles is saying here is don't blind sign transactions. Blind signing is when you approve a crypto transaction without knowing the full details of the transaction. This is usually appears in like a cryptographic format, just a bunch of random letters and numbers that you don't understand what you're signing. What hardware wallets do is it allows you to confirm the transaction in a human readable format. So it shows you you're sending this amount of crypto to this wallet. On hot wallets like MetaMask, for example, which MetaMask has announced that they weren't affected, but this is just an example. Um, if there were malware in the code or on your device, it could actually change the transaction details in the background without you knowing, which is harder on a hardware wallet because you can verify the transaction offline on your device. So I did kind of create a few bullets of what happened. This is like a super brief overview, super non-technical because I'm honestly not like I'm obviously not a developer. I'm not a coder, so I kind of broke it down into like a super non-techie way to just briefly go over what happened. But basically, hackers broke into a trusted developer's account (NPM), and they hid malware inside popular software. Again, the software is used by a lot of different developers all around the world for different apps and browser extensions. And this software is used by millions of websites and apps. Um, and the bad code, why this matters is that the code spreads everywhere extremely fast. The code, the malicious code, has been downloaded over 1 billion times. 1 billion times. And this is by developers who are implementing it into their apps. And again, this code can change the wallet address when you send crypto. This is mainly targeting hot wallets. Again, if you're using a hardware wallet and you're just double checking your transactions, you're good. That's why you need to get a hardware wallet. And yeah, your money will go straight to the hacker. How the malware works: it scans for crypto addresses on websites and apps, and then if it recognizes a crypto address, it'll secretly swap that address to the hacker's address in the background. And the fake address can look uh, almost exactly like yours. It'll usually have the same beginning and ending characters, so that if you're just checking like the last four of the address, you won't notice that it's actually a malicious or the hacker's address. So who's at risk? Anyone using browser wallets. This could be MetaMask, Phantom, Trust Wallet, Exodus. So to be clear, I'm not saying that these wallets are compromised. Phantom and MetaMask have both put out statements that they were unaffected by this, so that's good. But in general, this attack would really affect any software-based wallet. So basically, any wallet that's not a hardware wallet. And anyone who's sending crypto from these infected apps or websites are the ones who are going to be compromised. We don't have a list of what apps or wallets or browser extensions were affected or have this code implemented. So unfortunately, we don't know. That's why the best thing you can do right now, if you're using a cold wallet, is to double check every transaction, avoid blind signing, and always verify the transaction details before confirmation. Again, if you're using a cold wallet, you're good. Now, if you're using a hot wallet, you need to stop sending crypto right now. I would seize all crypto transactions. Don't trust any browser or app wallets, and wait until we have more clarification and details about this attack. If you want a more technical breakdown, if you want to use AI to break it down more, or if you have the technical background to kind of understand more about this, there is a link in the description of this live stream to the article that originally broke this news, along with the original source code that includes that malware. It's not the malware, but it's an example of what the code looks like. If you want to go read about it, you can read that article later. What I'm doing personally because of this is I've stopped all crypto transactions for the day, basically until I hear any news. I'm not interacting with any of my hot wallets. I'm not even opening them up. And I'm keeping my cold wallets locked away and secured. I'm really just not making any transactions right now, just to be safe. Again, if you're using a cold wallet, you're safe as long as you're double checking your transactions. Personally, for me, I am not interacting basically with crypto at all today. That said, there was another attack that I wanted to briefly touch on. This is unrelated to the current attack that Charles exposed, but this attack just happened. Let me check here. I think this happened yesterday. Just want to confirm. Oh, right here. When did this happen? September 6th. This happened 2 days ago on September 6th. So Alex Choi Crypto, I don't know too much about the guy. I know he has his own YouTube channel. I think he teaches a lot of like meme coin trading. But he, on 2 days ago, his wallet was drained for $996,000, basically $1 million. And basically what happened is a crypto project reached out to him. And they wanted to partner with them. So they asked him if he would jump on some calls on, let's see if he said what. So he joined some kind of call. It was either through like Microsoft Teams or Zoom or Google Meet. Either way, he joined one of those calls. He had a few calls with these people claiming to be from another crypto project. And at some point, they downloaded some kind of malicious, some kind of malware onto his computer, and that malware drained his hot wallet. So a couple things here. First off, this is a common attack that targets content creators like myself and other people. I get, I don't know, dozens of emails every day requesting to jump on like a Zoom call with me. This is one reason why I never take those calls. The second reason is because if they're not scamming me, the product or the project they're pushing is a scam, not something I'm interested in. But second, this same attack can also target consumers like you and me who are just buying crypto and selling it, and who might have issues with their hardware wallet. So sometimes scammers will pretend to be like Tangent support or Ledger support, and they'll request to hop on a video call with you. And the same thing could happen. They could either request access to your computer, which happens a lot. They can request remote access, which is obviously a bad scenario. They could potentially download some kind of malicious malware onto your device. They could send you a link to malicious malware to a phishing website. So basically, you don't want to jump on video calls with people. Yeah, I would just avoid that at all costs, and definitely don't click on any links that are being sent to you from random emails or anything like that, text messages. But the bigger thing here is the bigger takeaway from what's going on with both these attacks, the one that Charles exposed and with Alex, is they both these attacks targeted hot wallets, which is again why I've been saying for over 2.5 years now to put your crypto on a cold wallet. If you're serious about securing your crypto, it needs to be in a cold wallet. Cold wallets are proven time and time again that they are immune to these types of attacks. If Alex had his $996,000 stored in his cold wallet, that wouldn't have happened to him. Straight up. Unfortunately, that's not the case. So yeah. And then I won't go over it too much, but then I went into my little spiel here. Because Ledger's, they have a sale that's going on. It ends tomorrow. And you basically get up to $80 of free Bitcoin if you buy a Ledger wallet using the link in the description of this live stream. It takes you to Ledger's website. And yeah, anyways, so if you need a hardware wallet and you want to secure your crypto, Ledger is probably one of the best options. And one of the reasons why I thought it was kind of, necessary or relevant to advertise Ledger in this live stream is because the guy who broke the news and who really made it known is Charles, who is Ledger's chief technology officer. So again, he's gotten, at this point, there's over, let's see, let me check the post. How many people have seen this post? 3.7 million people have read Charles' tweet here, warning them to not transact using their hot wallet and to get a Ledger hardware wallet. So shout out to Charles for really blowing this up and making it public. But yeah, that said, if you need a hardware wallet, link is in the description. Um, Ledger, one of the most secure wallets on the market. You can buy, sell, swap, and stake crypto directly from the Ledger Live app. It comes with a secure screen, which means there's no potential for someone to inject malicious code between the screen and the chip inside the wallet, which a lot of other wallets have that vulnerability. Ledger does offer clear signing, which is one of the main things that would help prevent this you from being affected by this attack. Which is not blind signing. You want to clearly sign your transactions. You want to understand what you're signing before you sign it. And then, of course, it comes with the industry standard EAL6 plus secure element chip, which is the same kind of chip used in billions of bank cards and electronic passports. And Ledger, contrary to popular belief, is 95% open source. And yeah, they have 4 different models to choose from. They're all equally secure. So just, if you want like the cheaper option, which is the Nano S Plus, which is their entry level wallet, it's not less secure than their $400 wallet. So don't feel like, you're making a bad choice if you go with the cheaper option. That said, the text up here in the green is what you get if you buy one of the wallets using the link in the description. $10 in free Bitcoin, $50 in free Bitcoin with the Nano X, 70 with the Flex, or 80 with the stacks. And then as far as like the differences between these wallets, the Nano S Plus is the most basic version of the Ledger wallets. It doesn't have Bluetooth, it doesn't have a battery, but it has all the security features that you want. It also has the smallest screen. And I do have let me pull it up here. This is actually the Nano S Plus right here. So this is equally as secure as even the more expensive one, like say the Ledger Flex. And then after that, you have the Ledger Nano X, which the only difference between the Nano X and the S Plus is the screen size. It's a little larger, and this one has Bluetooth and a rechargeable battery. Then you have the Ledger Flex. Obviously, this has the larger 2.84-inch touchscreen. It also has near-field communication, or NFC, which allows you to scan the Ledger recovery key, which I'll talk about in a second. And the Ledger Flex now comes with the Ledger Recovery Key. This is a $40 product. It comes with the box when you buy a Flex. And then you have the Ledger Stacks, which I don't have it with me at the moment. It's securely tucked away, but it has a slightly larger touchscreen than the Flex, and it has wireless charging. That said, the Recovery Key that I just mentioned, this is basically a secure offline key recovery. So it stores your seed phrase on this card, and basically it transfers it from your wallet to the card. That way you don't have to whip out your seed phrase every time you want to recover your Flex or your Stacks wallet. You just scan your card, enter the PIN code that you set for this card, and then you can recover your wallet that way. It's not a replacement for writing down your seed phrase. It's an additional secure backup. And it also has a self-destruct mechanism. So if after 3 failed PIN attempts, it completely erases the card so that no one can get to your key. And yeah, both Ledger Flex and Stacks comes with the key. And the link to those wallets and that deal is in the description. Enough of that. I'm going to get back to the live stream here, or rather the live chats. Let's see. So I'm just scrolling through my live chats here. Just trying to get to any questions that I haven't answered or anything. I'll bring this one up. Tony says this guy's just shilling headwear or hardware wallets. Yeah, I mean, if you want to look at that way, Tony, if you've been following the channel, then you know that hardware wallets are the most secure way to store your crypto. And this attack specifically targets people who don't use hardware wallets. So it kind of makes sense to let people know that if they want to secure their crypto moving forward, that they should get it in a hardware wallet. But yeah, no one's forcing you to be here, Tony. If you don't want to watch the live stream, you can leave. TF says, since Tangem with a seed phrase shows your seed phrase on the phone, there was a concern that it's vulnerable when you first set up your Tangem. Has that issue been resolved? I don't know what you mean by resolved. I mean, that's just how the wallet functions. If you choose to set up a seed phrase, it has to display it on the phone screen. Uh, I made a video about how the Tangem Wallet app works, and they have a lot of things in place that even if you had malware on your phone, it wouldn't necessarily affect the Tangem app. To be clear, the seed phrase isn't stored on your phone or in the app. It's only briefly displayed so that you can write it down, and then it's erased. It's stored offline on the secure element chip inside the card, away from hacks and malware. Um, so it's never been an issue. Like no one's wallet has ever been compromised because they choose to use a seed phrase option on Tangem. If you don't want to use a seed phrase, you don't have to. You can set it up without one. That would be the solution. D says my new Ledger Flex gets 2 to 3 poison addresses every day on my XRP and XLM. Yeah, that's not specific to the wallet or anything. That's just part of being in crypto. Like everything is public knowledge. Everything's recorded on the blockchain, so anyone can go to the blockchain, copy addresses, and then send crypto to your wallet address. It's not a risk as long as you're not interacting with the crypto that they send you, or like um, sending money to those addresses. Obviously. Okay, looks like got another super chat from Denim Rue. Thank you for your donation. I appreciate that. Thank you for putting this in terms for us newbies. First time buy, use Kraken, now waiting to move to Tangem. Awesome. Yeah, sounds like you're doing everything right. You're using a good exchange, or at least what I consider a good exchange, and you're moving it to a cold wallet. Good job. Excuse me. Still looks like I'm pretty behind, so I might just have to jump to new comments and kind of see where we're at. Maybe I'll work backwards here. Connor says, what if you only have hot wallets and haven't bought a cold wallet, not knowing it's needed? Connor, then you need to get a cold wallet like as soon as possible. Also, I don't like usually recommend people subscribe to the channel. I don't really care. However, the fact that you didn't know you needed a cold wallet to secure your crypto is pretty concerning. I don't know how long you've been in crypto, but keeping your crypto on something like an exchange, like Coinbase, or in a hot wallet is a huge security risk. And that's pretty much what I talk about and help people with on this channel. I have a ton of videos breaking all this down. And I try to reply. I reply to as many comments as possible. So yeah, I highly recommend maybe taking advantage of the deal. To that, there's a link in the description that'll get you a Ledger wallet and some free Bitcoin. So maybe that's an option for you. And then go and watch some videos on the channel. And I'm happy to answer any questions you have. Someone said they missed the beginning. What is the concern? I've already gone over. I just went over a brief summary of what's happened. You can go back and watch the live stream. I cover everything that's happening in the first 10 minutes of the live stream. So if you missed it, you can go back and watch it. Skywalker says, Decent Trezor are pretty good. I want to know if Tangem is good so I can buy. Tangem is one of, in my opinion, the best wallets on the market. A lot of the viewers on the channel here would agree. Decent is not a wallet that I'd ever recommend to anyone. A lot of YouTubers recommend Decent because Decent pays people to make videos. They pay them like $50 just to post a video, which is why you see so many videos. They also have a pretty enticing affiliate program. But Decent is 100% closed source. There's no way to verify that anything the company says is true because they keep all of their data private, so that no one, no external security team or developers could even go and look at the code. So not a wallet that I'd recommend. And give me 1 second here and just checking something. Let's see. Cod Addict says it's a bit overblown. It's mainly mobile apps that tend to use NPM, lesser known exchanges and apps. I wouldn't say it's overblown, considering there have been over a billion downloads of the the code. I wouldn't say it's overblown at all. I think it's actually irresponsible to say that. I think something like this needs as much attention on it as possible, and I think it's also just even if it were overblown, the fact that this is happening, I think it's just good to put it out there and make people aware that things like this happen. And a lot of people don't make the move to like self custodial cold storage until it's already too late and something like this does happen and they lose all their crypto. Actually, just received an email from one of our subscribers here who I guess it's a little unrelated, but um, they basically fell for a fake customer support website and they lost $56,000. So that's just to say, like, you really should stay up to date on what's happening in the crypto space, and you should really understand the fundamentals and know that this stuff happens all the time to everyday users like you and me, and it can easily be avoided if you just buy a hardware wallet and use it how it's meant to be used. It's really that simple. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, let's see. All right, so I think that's anyways, I think that's about all that I have time for. If you missed what we were covering, just replay the first 10 minutes of this video and I break down everything. Um, Let me answer this question. Craig asked, what about putting a hot wallet like base wallet onto Ledger? Great, Craig. I don't know what you mean by you can't put a hot wallet onto Ledger. If you are asking importing a hot wallet seed phrase into a cold wallet, that's a terrible idea. If you import a seed phrase from a hot wallet into your cold wallet is not cold, it's hot. So yeah, if your goal is to secure crypto, you need to have um, a sorry, you need to have a seed phrase that is specific to your cold wallet. You don't want to use run from a hot wallet. Um, so yeah, anyways, yeah, if you miss anything, go ahead, rewatch the first 10 minutes of this live stream and I break everything down. Make sure, again, I rarely ever say this, but make sure you are subscribed to the channel if you want updates regarding this attack. I probably won't do like a video on it, but I will be, I can post a community post and that way it gets to you instantly. So if there are any updates with this attack, I will definitely let you know. So yeah, thank you everyone for joining and I'll see you in the next one. God bless. Stay safe out there. Get a hardware wallet. Link is in the description. Peace out, guys.